So far, we've managed to let users select and store a list of places that they're interested in. And we've also seen how to keep this information up to date every time we display that list on the device. Well, now the next logical step is to start listening to the device's location and be able to change the device to silent whenever we enter one of those places. And we'll also add a switch button to be able to turn Shush Me on and off. Now, one option would be to use the location API and request a GPS location every few minutes, and then compare this information against every location we have on our list. Now, this method is called GPS polling. Now, although this method can work just fine, it certainly will drain the battery in no time and potentially leave us with a lot of unhappy users who could uninstall our app right away. However, it's good to know that this scenario exists because it can be useful in other cases later on. Well, to help us out, luckily Android offers another option to handle exactly what we need for Shush Me, and that option is called Geofences. A geofence, in general, means a virtual perimeter surrounding a particular real-world physical location. In Android, you can have multiple active geofences with a limit of 100 per device. Each geofence is made up of a center point defined by a longitude and latitude along with a radius. You start listening to a geofence by registering it with Google Play services, and we'll see how to do that shortly. Then, even if your application isn't running anymore, Android will keep track of where the device is relative to any registered geofence. And once an entry or exit into the geofence occurs, it will launch an intent of whatever type you've specified. And this could be an intent service or a broadcast receiver, as we'll see later in a minute. Each geofence has a lifetime that you specify when you create it. Once expired, Location Services automatically removes that geofence. You can also unregister all geofences registered by your app at any time by explicitly removing them from Google Play services. Now, the reason geofences are way more battery efficient than polling GPS information all the time is that Android optimizes all three location techniques to minimize battery consumption. So cell towers and Wi-Fi, along with the latest GPS location, are all used first to check if there's a chance of entering or exiting a geofence. Then polling live GPS data is rarely forced, and hence no unnecessary battery usage is consumed. However, doing so means that it might take the device a few minutes to realize that it has entered or exited a geofence. So to make sure whatever use case you're using geofences for, to check that this delay is acceptable.